What happened to Hytale? It's a question a lot of YouTube has been wondering lately, with it being a popular topic. Basically, Hytale was a brand new game from the studio of Hypixel, who made a very popular server on Minecraft. The trailer for Hytale came out around 3 years ago at this point. And basically, a lot of people don't even know what's going on. I mean, is the game dead? Did they stop development? All these are going to be questions that we're going to be answering in today's video. First off, Hytale's biggest problem is that it started development in 2018, making players extremely worried for the game's future as of 2022. In Hytale's 2021 summer development update, they actually put out something that said that they have several more years of hard work to go. Actually, real quick, let's read Hytale's update on this one, which says, "What has become increasingly apparent is that we have several more years of work ahead of us before Hytale is ready to launch. We don't want to provide another estimated launch window that turns out to be incorrect. However, we no longer expect to be ready to launch Hytale before 2023 at the earliest, and it could very well take longer. There are two key considerations driving this assessment. The first is that our capabilities of a studio have significantly improved and the scope of what we can do is expanded. Put it simply, we're better at making games than we used to be, but taking full advantage of this takes time." And then they also explained in this that they have to develop Hytale for multiple platforms, and they want it to be a cross-platform experience. But here's the issue as to why players are worried about development. We barely get any updates. We literally get updates like twice a year on this. This is the exact reason why the hype is dying down. Because if you won't respond to your community or give minimal response, what do players know to be hyped for in the first place? And another reason why players feel this way is because the game has been delayed for actually years now. It's been at least 5 or 6 years since we've actually gotten proper and clear communication on it. So there's good reason as to why the community is clueless in the first place. The developers also now, as an update, have full backing from Riot Games, who is one of the most powerful game companies in the world. Now that the studio has the full support that they need to keep making the game's development will probably move faster, but in this case, they're focusing on quality. It's 2022, so what's the latest update we've gotten so far? Well, here's some gameplay from Hytale themselves, which looks like the game is going in a really high quality direction. You can definitely tell that they're putting a lot of effort into the combat system as well. The combat system looks immaculate. Just look at that, that looks amazing. It's actually funny though, after doing further research, we actually find that Hytale was pushed back by the Riot Inquisition. This means that the release date will be 2023, and this is the earliest. It could go as late as 2027 to even release this game. You guys think this release date is cutting it a bit close though? At least that's what Optimus has to say about it. Check out his clip down here.
It has been delayed for years now, right? You know, like people thought this game, because we got an announcement in 2018, people thought this game, 2019, 2020, we'd have it. We don't even have it by the end of the decade, which is okay, but then you're pushing it into like the middle of the next decade too, and it's really hurting hype for this game. In fact, I went and I looked at the Google Trends for Hytale, which basically tracks the amount of Google searches for that term, right? This is the 5-year outlook for the hype of Hytale. People searching it on Google, which is obviously the biggest search engine in the world. It may not even be like a sixth of what it used to be, right, at its peak.
So yes, the hype is going slow, but they're still going strong with updates, and they still have a large player base. Another thing that has happened is that their cross-platform play has actually delayed the game even longer. Here's what they have to say on that. The second consideration is the need to develop Hytale in a way that allows us to bring it to multiple platforms as rapidly as possible. It's always been our goal to eventually release Hytale on mobile and consoles as well as PC. But it's become apparent they were heading for a scenario where a community would ultimately find itself split across versions and devices. We think it is enormously important to avoid this, to create an ecosystem where as many players as possible can play together and share their creations. However, this means making major changes to Hytale's engine and our approach to launch, and this extends development time. It's definitely a large thing to do because it will take a while before the whole thing is definitely operational and stuff like that. Let's take an example at Minecraft, where, as you can see, I'm playing Minecraft in this video, and a lot of people say that Minecraft has a lot of tedious and time-consuming things that make it hard for cross-platform, and Hytale does not want this. The game has to deliver on its promises somehow, and this will be a very hard task for Hytale, especially if it can't live up to expectations. Do you personally think that fans are setting their expectations too high for this game? I honestly don't think that fans are setting their expectations that high. It's been multiple years and little communication, and this looks like a great and promising game, but it's going to let players down if it doesn't clean up its act very soon. You need to be clear with your players, Hypixel, as to what you're really stating here. Right now, your game, Hypixel, is losing players really fast that are hyped for the game, and you need to provide clear communication as to what's going on, not updates twice a year. I think the problem really here stems from communication, because if there's communication, I wouldn't have to make this video and everyone would know. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of problems with Hypixel that needs to be addressed, but it looks like a very promising game and I'm looking forward to it.